If you've been waiting for the perfect time to buy your first home, this is your chance. Right now, you've got choices, leverage, and time to think. But that's changing and it's changing fast. Check this out. In the first week of June of 2025, we saw the highest number of showings on homes for sale that we've seen at any point in the last 6 years, going all the way back to 2019. And yes, that's even higher than during COVID when every listing had 30 offers and the house sold the second the sign hit the lawn. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down why the number of showings matters, what it means for you as a first-time buyer, and how missing this window of opportunity could potentially lock you out of the housing market forever. My name is Steve Lopresti. I'm a real estate agent in Hamilton, Ontario, and let's be honest, you probably don't care too much about that. You're here for some information, so let's get into the video. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so people are booking showings. So what? Here's what. Showings equals interest, and interest always shows up before offers. This spike in showings tells us something important. It tells us that buyers are waking up. Showings are the first sign of life in a quiet market. Before offers start coming in, before bidding wars start, before competition starts picking up, and before prices start rising, showings are the leading indicator that show us where we're going. And what we're seeing is that buyers are starting to come out, they're starting to book some showings, and they're starting to test the waters. And right now, it looks like the water is just about to start boiling. Like I mentioned, in the first week of June in 2025, we had the highest number of home showings that we've had in a single week at any point in the last 6 years, going all the way back to 2019. So that's including 2021. I'm not sure if you remember that, but those were not good times to be a buyer. We had people lining up outside of open houses like they were lining up to buy the new iPhone. There was no chance at all that you were going to get an offer accepted that had any conditions in it, conditions that are put in place to protect you as the buyer. You had to bid against 18 other highly motivated buyers who wanted to buy the house as badly as you did, and you had to pay $150,000 over asking on top of giving them your firstborn child just to get your offer accepted. Thankfully, we're not there yet, at least not yet anyways, but this data tells us that we are heading in that direction. Buyer interest is rising and sales numbers are already picking up month over month. And interestingly enough, first-time buyers are leading the charge, making up over 50% of the buying demographic right now. They're locking in lower rates, longer rate holds on their pre-approvals, and in some cases, they're getting cash back for their closing costs. Prices aren't dropping anymore. They've been slowly sliding off for months now, but they're leveling off, and the Canadian Home Price Index, which tracks the national home values, just flatlined between April and May. This is what we call a market bottom, right? There's not some big flashing sign, not some neon lights, not some champagne bottles popping off. It's just going to be silence. Then a few showings start up, and then we get a few offers coming in. Then a few sales happen, and then boom, suddenly you blink, all the prices are climbing again. This is the calm before the storm. If you've been sitting on the sidelines thinking, maybe I'll just wait till prices drop another 10K, then you might already be too late. The next shift we see could be upwards, and if you're not in position when that happens, you could be chasing that first home all the way up the mountain. And look, I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. There are signs, real ones, that things are shifting, and under the surface, the market is starting to wake up. The media won't tell you this yet, and your uncle who spends all day watching the news won't see it coming, but the early warning signs are flashing. Now, if this is starting to feel a little too real, good. That means you're paying attention. But you don't need to figure this out alone. I put together a free first-time buyer guide that'll walk you through how to navigate this market, what to watch out for, and how to line everything up so that you can make a move before this window slams shut. If you're interested, go check that out. It's in the description. Now, why exactly is this window rare? Well, moments like this don't come around too often. You've got high inventory, low competition, sellers are still willing to negotiate, and buyers haven't gone full Hunger Games yet. Right now, buyers still hold all the cards. You can negotiate on price, you can include conditions in your offers, and you can take the time to think through your offer before pulling the trigger. You're not being rushed because you know there's 6 other people that are putting an offer in that same minute. But that leverage isn't going to last. Like I mentioned, the showings that we see on properties is the leading indicator for the demand that we're going to see in the coming weeks. Once that demand crosses a certain line, sellers stop playing nice. They don't care about your financing or your home inspection conditions. They want the cleanest, the quickest, and the biggest offer that they can get. And there's always someone who's willing to go higher than you when the market heats up. So for right now, the power dynamic is still in your favor, but the second the market starts to tip, and it's already starting to tip, that leverage is gone. This is the moment where buyers who have been watching, saving, and researching finally pull the trigger. And if you're still waiting, you're going to be sitting there saying, oh man, why didn't I buy something when I could have? This is stupid, 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 stupid. Everyone always thinks, well, maybe if I wait a few more months, prices will drop a little bit more. But that's not what usually happens. Here's what does happen. You wait, prices stabilize, more buyers start to flood into the marketplace, prices start to come back up, and suddenly you're competing again. And that 10K discount that you were holding out for gets completely swallowed up by higher competition. You didn't end up saving anything, you just lost a bunch of time. Or would you rather fight tooth and nail in a market where every single listing gets at least 12 offers and goes $100,000 over asking? In which market do you think you're more likely to find the right house at the right price? At the end of the day, we don't know exactly what the market will do next. But what we do know is what's happening right now in the present moment. These are some of the best buying conditions that we've seen in years, perhaps even the last decade. By waiting to buy something, what you're essentially saying is, I'm in this really, really, really good position, but I'm going to risk it all just for things to maybe potentially, possibly get just a little bit better. Doesn't really make much sense. There are really only two ways that this goes. Interest rates go down, which means more people will be able to afford houses, which means there's going to be more buyers out there, which means demand rises, which means prices go up. Scenario A, not too great. So if you're waiting for rates to go down further, that's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for demand to pick back up and for you to pay more money for a house. The second scenario is that rates go back up, which means that you can afford less, which means you're going to be buying less house and spending more money per month for that house. Either way, waiting doesn't help you. It just takes the power out of your hands. Now look, if you're not quite ready to buy a house right now, that's one thing. Maybe you're still saving up, maybe you just got a new job, maybe your life's just a little chaotic right now, and that's totally fair. You should never rush into the biggest financial decision of your life, and you should only make sure that you buy a house when you're absolutely ready. But there's always a but. If you are in a good place and you got your down payment, you got a solid income, you're generally ready to buy a house, you're just waiting. Waiting for what? You're waiting for some magical drop in prices? Because like I said, the only thing that's going to cause a massive drop in prices would be a huge spike in interest rates, which is not going to be good for you either. You're just going to be able to afford less. Your monthly payments are going to skyrocket. You might just be waiting yourself out of the market entirely. Because over the next 5, 10, 15 plus years, if prices continue to trend upwards like they've been doing for the last several decades, then there could come a point when we reach the point of no return and you're not able to get into the market at all, no matter what you do, no matter how much money you make. This is your window right now, and right now you as a buyer have the edge. Once the market shifts, and it's already shifting, you're going to wish you had moved when you had the chance and where conditions were this good. So here's what your next steps need to be. First thing, I recommend you stop doom scrolling through listings and you actually take action. Download my free first time buyer guide. It's down in the description so that you know what steps that you need to take. And then your next step is to book a free call with me so that I can help you put it all together. That link is also down in the description. If you're trying to buy your first home in Hamilton, there's still time, but the clock is ticking. You don't want to be the one who says, I should have bought when I had the chance. All right, we're getting to that time in the video where my face usually appears right over in this area. So you're going to want to click that to subscribe to the channel. Then you got something over here as well, some extra interesting content over there. You can click on that and it'll take you to another video of mine that should also help you out if you're a first time buyer in Hamilton. Go ahead, click it. Look at how nice that thing looks. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me an email. It's down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.